It's the RadioU podcast. This is the Wednesday, July 19th edition. Coming up today in the show, we do Would You Rather Wednesday. Would you rather live in the middle of nowhere or in the middle of a city? We also find out why Isaiah is so upset about the Twinkie situation from yesterday and a whole lot more good stuff. But first, I have a question for you. We got a video podcast now, right? Obviously, we had the audio podcast, very successful, long running, plenty of followers. And we got the video podcast up off the ground as well.
Yep. Everything
we do is filmed.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been watching, like sometimes I'll go back and, check ourselves so we don't wreck ourselves. And I wondered to myself recently, I thought, should I start wearing makeup?
What?
Because you think of like any other, if you watch like, let's say Stephen A. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing makeup. He's got to look good.
Makeup.
Got to cover up. He's probably got some blemishes if you saw him au natural. I got some blemishes. I've never had good skin. And now it's being filmed in high definition, I assume. I don't know how that works. In like 1080p. I probably need to cover up some of these blemishes. Don't you think?
I think you look fine.
Don't you think our video podcast would be even more successful if I looked better?
That it would. But
so,
I don't think it's you.
You don't think I'm the so you need to look better.
No, it's not me. Definitely not me.
So what needs to look better then?
I think it's our whole show as a whole.
What do you mean?
Like I don't think people are tuning in because we're cute.
Speak for yourself.
Just saying. I don't think anybody's...
No, you're right. But they would if I looked cuter.
But if you looked
and
good.
I could look cuter if I wore makeup. Makeup can do wonders.
But think about this though.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna wake up early in the morning and do your makeup.
Yeah.
Or are we gonna have?
I don't know. Nikki used to do it.
Are we gonna? No, she did. Did she?
She put on some kind of makeup, didn't she? Don't you think?
I don't know if she did. She had to put on something.
She
right?
had to do something.
Yeah. So
sometimes.
But she's used to it. You would take way longer. You'd be so much slower.
Yeah.
But think about this though. Ready?
And I have way more to cover up. I'm sure.
What if we hired someone?
Yes.
To do it.
That you're right. That's what we should do.
I mean, I'm not gonna do it.
We have an ad out for a producer for the show. They should have makeup skills. Cosmetology.
Yeah. Before the show,
additional.
They put a full face of makeup on you.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yet again, they're not touching my face, but for you, you get a full face of makeup. Nothing would make me happier.
Think about how therapeutic that would be too, for me to be able to talk to Diana while she's.
It's not going to be Diana.
You don't think it's going to be named Diana?
No.
For me to talk to Mel. Yeah.
Stephanie. Yeah, I think we could.
Agatha.
Or it could be like a Chris.
It could be a Chris.
Why don't we just have Moneybags come in early?
Yeah.
And have him do your makeup in the morning.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Have you ever worn makeup?
He puts a lot of effort in everything he does, so I think if we told him, Chris, Moneybags, you need to do makeup for us, he would do it right.
Have you ever worn makeup?
Yes, I think. I can't remember.
When?
I can't recall the occasion.
Likely story.
It was like I was going to be on film, or it was a big occasion or something. I need to look a little better than I typically do. And so, yeah, I've definitely popped it on a time or two. Have you?
I used to wear it when I worked in TV.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I wore it every time.
Now we're working in TV again, in a way.
I guess so.
In a sense. Here's what I was thinking, though. If I was going to start, I feel like I wouldn't like just all of a sudden one day come in full makeup, looking way better, just smooth.
They go that full glam.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I'd have to like incrementally every day, so it looks like I was just naturally
looking like that.
Yeah, getting better skin.
And then all of a sudden, people look at like a video podcast, a video from like now versus like a year ago, and they're like, "What happened? Did he get work done? Did you get Botox?"
Or if they watch in the wrong order, they're like, "Oh, Hudson's not looking so good.
Oh, man.
He's taking a turn for the
worst.
It's
a bad morning."
Yeah.
No, I think you should do it. I think it made me happy.
If I started wearing makeup.
I think it'd be so darn funny.
I think it's a good idea.
Because you can't tell on camera, but in person you can tell.
No, you can tell on camera. I can tell on camera.
When people are, if they're, have their full glam, you can tell.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got what you're saying.
But in person, it's way more obvious than it is on the camera.
Yeah.
So, I think you should do it. That's my conclusion.
I might get on that. I might start asking some questions of other people and see if we can start making some improvement. I mean, it can't hurt the show, right?
Yeah, Sledgehammer if it's allowed.
I don't think he'd have a problem with it.
No, I don't think you would at all. I think you'd feel weirded out, but I think you'd be perfectly fine with it.
All right, enjoy the show. We told you what's coming up today, what you're about to hear, and then tomorrow, I'll tell you, it's Choice Champions Day, and we're doing TV theme songs.
Oh, yeah.
So excited. So excited. So enjoy the show. Catch you next time.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, RadioU.
Well, congratulations are in order. Is that the right terminology?
I don't know if that's the right terminology for this one.
No, it's a record. It's a big deal.
But not every record is a congratulatory record.
I think...
Who are we congratulating?
We're congratulating the city of Phoenix because it has broken a record. The city of Phoenix has had 19 straight days to see temperatures over 110 degrees Fahrenheit.
Now we're talking.
That's a record.
Heat
in the
me
United
up.
States. Yeah.
I'm loving that.
And here's what maybe even worse is that not only have they gotten over 110 degrees for 19 straight days in Phoenix, but also they recently broke the record for the highest low temperature ever in the city.
What's that?
95 degrees.
95 degrees in the middle of the night. There's no escaping the heat.
Not a chance.
110 during the day, 95 at night. Everybody better get real comfortable being hot.
Yeah, that air conditioning better be cranked up. Your bill going to be through the roof. But you know what they say, it's a dry heat. So it's
it
fine.
is. It does feel different. It's not that bad, yeah.
Yeah, even when it's over 110 for 18, 19 straight days.
You're still not sweating.
No, you're not. Did you see the video going around, too, of the woman from Phoenix who says that she shows her taillight of her car? She says it's been so hot there that the heat melted it.
No, it did not.
I don't believe it.
Not
I don't
a
believe it. I
chance.
think...
110, come on.
The taillight is melted. Supposedly it got up to like 130. But
what?
Yeah, but
130?
Supposedly,
I
don't even know
that.
if those temperatures are actually possible on Earth. But
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't think a headlight melts at 130 degrees. I think it melted from something else, and she just took the opportunity on TikTok with it being hot to say that that's what happened. But I'll tell you what, this is just one more reason why Phoenix is the worst city in the United States. I'm going to say
Whoa.
The worst city.
How?
What do you mean? It's hot?
It's great. Have you ever been to Phoenix?
Yes.
It's like one of my favorite places to visit. I just went there a couple months ago. It's like a top 3 city I've ever visited.
You went to Scottsdale.
It's right next to Phoenix. They're right next to each other.
Different.
They're right next to each other. I've been to Phoenix twice as well.
I went to Phoenix, and
I love it there.
The people in Phoenix told me, I said, what do you do in Phoenix? What is fun to do in Phoenix? They said nothing. They said, you know the funnest thing about Phoenix? When you get to leave. That's what they told me.
The people who live there.
Yeah.
Lames.
They hate it. And now they have to suffer.
This is not, but it's so different though. Because yet again, it's a dry heat. And if you're not built for the hot, then you're not going to like it there. If I had to pick a place to move, Phoenix would be like a top 3 location for me to move to. Maybe number 1.
It's 95 degrees at night.
Yeah, Hudson, maybe you're not cut out for it. You know what?
Nobody's cut out for that.
I'm cut out for that. I'm ready for that.
This is not what it's supposed to be on Earth. This is what it's like on Venus.
It's hot. But yet again, I would rather spend days in Phoenix at 110 than any humid state at like 85 degrees.
You'd be much happier anywhere in Florida. You know why?
Because you're sweating your butt off?
There's stuff to do.
You clearly have never been to Phoenix.
I've been to Phoenix.
I don't know what your fun is.
You
can Hudson, you can watch Netflix anywhere.
Yeah.
There's fairs everywhere.
In the air conditioning.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
But
what's your life? What's going to be so different in Phoenix than it is here?
It'd be way hotter.
Yeah, it would
I'd be way more upset.
But you'd be way less sweaty.
And I'd never be able to venture out because there's no reason to.
You could rock climb out there. The scenery's incredible. You want to do outdoor stuff? You think there's outdoor stuff?
You can't do outdoor stuff when it's 130 degrees.
If you asked anyone if you're going to do outdoor stuff here rather than there, it's for sure there. The terrain's way better. It's way cooler. But at the same time...
Yeah, but you melt.
I guess you're not cut out for the heat. Obviously, you're not cut out for Phoenix. I like it
burn
hot.
to a crisp.
I like it hot.
There's lots of fun things other places where you don't melt.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
You ever seen this, Isaiah? You're a frequent flyer.
Yes.
You ever seen on a plane seats facing each other?
Oh, I've never seen that.
You never seen that?
Never seen that.
You shudder to think of it, wouldn't you?
That sounds rough.
That sounds absolutely awful. Apparently, there's a TikTok that's going viral of a gal flying on a regional airline in Sweden, and she got stuck sitting in these seats. You think of like if you've ever used like on a train, a lot of trains would have these, right?
Yeah.
Where for some reason the seats face each other, so your legs and you're sitting straight across from somebody, like looking them face to face in the eye. Your leg, you could kick each other. You could play footsie if you want. And she's dealing with this. Looks horrible. Evidently, it's not actually that uncommon. Some airlines here, even the United States, for example, United Airlines has seats like this. Can you even imagine?
I can't. I cannot imagine. But when I look at this video, they're like kind of space. There's like space. But like if you looked straight ahead, it would just be so awkward.
Yeah.
Like what? Like for me, I think I would be thinking the entire time. I'd be overthinking it. Because realistically, on a plane, you have your eyes closed anyways.
A lot of times, yeah.
But I would be trying to avoid eye contact as much as possible.
Absolutely.
Would you rather? Let me ask you this though.
Okay.
If you're flying with one person, would you rather be sitting next to them or across from them?
Oh, across. I mean, if the choice is sitting across from a stranger or across from a person I know, but then a stranger beside me,
yes,
I'm taking across from the person I know.
Me too.
I don't want to. I can ignore a stranger sitting beside me, and I'm in fact used to that on a plane. But looking them face to face, I can't even fathom the idea.
Now you think about this,
the awkwardness. So
let's say you go on a flight with your wife, right?
Yeah.
And so you guys pick across from each other's seats, right? But the seats, the thing is like in the video, they're not like, it's not like you're super close.
No.
And so if you were to talk to her.
You have to have some leg room.
Yeah. If you were to talk to her, like the person next to you, like you would have to talk like decently on a plane for her to be able to hear you.
It's loud on a plane.
Yeah, the person next to you would definitely hear way more of your conversation than your wife would.
That's fine.
It's okay with you?
Yeah.
Doesn't bother you?
Realistically, I just don't do a lot of talking on a plane.
You're not a big chit chatter, huh?
No, because it's loud. Everybody just wants, like even me and my wife, you just want to, pop in some headphones. Yeah, it would make it difficult to watch the same thing together if you wanted to do that. But
true.
Other than that, I think we could survive much better than, yet again, sitting across from a stranger and having your feet touch and looking them in the eye and not, what do you not talk to them?
I'll tell you this much. Like when I get on a plane, if I'm flying solo, people always talk about how you can find the love of your life at an airport. I mean, this is the real way.
This is it.
Like
it's speed dating on a plane.
It is. When I get on the plane and I have my fingers crossed, like I hope my seat is next to a pretty girl. I hope my seat is across from a pretty girl. I mean, the whole time I'd be sitting across from her, like just like little looks. Are you looking at me? Are you looking at me? That's what I'd be thinking the whole time.
Yeah.
Are you trying to touch my foot? I couldn't tell for sure if that was accidental or on purpose.
The only positive of the experiences.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
I have the annual ranking here. The safest and most dangerous cities for drivers.
And I feel like a lot of people probably think that their city, no matter where you live, you're going to think, the drivers in my city are terrible.
Everybody hates the drivers in their own city.
The roads in my city are the worst. The drivers the most dangerous.
But the only drivers worse than the drivers in your city are the drivers in like the next state over. That's everybody always complains. Well, I mean, they're bad drivers here, but they're even worse drivers in Pennsylvania. You don't even want to know. But I actually have the hard data to back up where the worst drivers are, and it is in Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee as
A little shocking.
The worst drivers in the country. It is shocking. What does Memphis have going for it right now?
Not much.
Like, you go to Memphis, either you get into an accident or you get mugged.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Memphis.
You don't make it out of there in one piece right now. Not good. Not good. Number 2.
Their crash score is so high.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Like the competition, almost half as bad.
Dwarfed by, look at that. That's 86% crash score. What does that even mean? I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what a crash score is.
But it looks bad.
But 86.6, comparatively so to third place, which is Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is at 50.8.
Uh-huh.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, big jump. Baton Rouge in between there at number 2 for the worst drivers, according to this data. And then Macon, Georgia, and St. Louis, Missouri round out the bottom 5, the worst drivers in the country. The top safest drivers, Green Bay, Wisconsin, Cary, North Carolina, Oxnard, California, are the big winners there.
Makes sense. Maybe less people, less drivers.
Yeah.
I could see that being a thing.
Safer, less stuff to crash into. Let me ask you this, just on the topic of driving. You know what happened to me yesterday?
What'd you do?
I was turning in, the light was green. I was turning right into a gas station, an entryway into a gas station. Coming the other way with a green light, somebody turning left into the gas station. They started turning left even though I was in the midst of turning right.
Oh, that's wrong.
Almost hit me.
What an idiot.
I let out a honk.
You honked?
I gave him a honk.
No, you didn't. You honked?
Yeah, what, did they not see me?
They must not.
You don't know how this works? But now it wasn't direct. We weren't turning directly into the gas station, but wouldn't you know it, we both pulled into the gas station.
Right next to each other.
Yeah, what do you do there?
That's tough.
I was clearly in the right. He deserved the honk.
What
what if he came and confronted me? He didn't.
What I would do is I would look to see who honked at me.
Uh-huh.
If it was you, I immediately wouldn't be intimidated anymore.
Yeah.
So therefore, when I get out of the car, I would give you like a, sorry about that.
Uh-huh.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, he didn't do that.
See,
he didn't acknowledge me at all.
That means, you know what that means?
What's that?
He was a little nervous. He was a little scared of you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it wasn't
thought I could back him down?
It wasn't that he didn't want to apologize.
Uh-huh.
It's that he didn't want to talk to you because he was nervous of what you might say.
Yeah. He could see the crazy in my eyes, probably.
And so what you should have done is you should have apologized.
Apologize for what?
Exactly. Look at you. You said it for what? To make him feel worse because he knows it's his fault.
Oh, yeah. Hey, sorry for honking it. Oh,
sorry about that.
I could have done it so good, too.
Sorry, I'm sorry about that. I just want to make sure you saw me.
Uh-huh. The Canadian in me shine.
Yes, that would have been so much better.
Oh, I wish I was thinking. I just wasn't thinking that
nervous.
clearly.
You were nervous.
Uh-huh.
That he was going to say something to you. Oh, man.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
Miranda Lambert. Are you aware of her?
Heard of her?
Heard of her?
Pretty familiar.
Country singer. She's been around for a long time, 20 years just about.
She's a pretty big deal.
She's been in the country music game. Used to be married to Blake Shelton.
An astute veteran in the game.
Yeah. What's your favorite Miranda Lambert song? Can you think of one?
I don't know. Off the top of the dome.
What about that one that's like, you went away. How dare you? You like that one?
Not so much for me.
My rendition's pretty good.
I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Not so much for me. Miranda Lambert, she's all right.
She's causing some controversy at her recent concert. Well, I'll just let Miranda speak for herself here.
I'm going to stop right here for a sec, Danny. I'm sorry. These girls are worried about their selfie and not listening to the song. It's pissing me off a little bit.
She's here to sing some country music. They're not listening to the songs. Stopping the whole show because people are taking selfies. Your thoughts?
Come on, Miranda. That's so lame. What do you mean it's selfies? If you go to a country concert, is there even a chance that you're not going to take a photo of yourself at the concert?
Depends who it is.
I mean, come on.
I don't mean this concert. I mean, well, maybe, but I mean, if it's me, I don't take a lot of selfies.
How many times?
But I fully expect everybody else to be doing it.
Yeah, like how many times has Miranda Lambert performed and she's seen people taking selfies? Is she getting upset every single time?
You would have thought in the last 20 years of her career, she's seen it all.
Like,
apparently, she's never seen people taking selfies before.
She stopped the whole concert because the people that were like down in the bowl in the bottom were taking videos when she was singing, taking pictures. Like, that's just insane to me. Like, I can't imagine. It must have been abrasive. The only way that this is okay is if these are the most abrasive photos of all time. Like, they had to be crazy. How could this have been so distracting that she was singing and she noticed them, and they must be crazy?
Yeah. Here's what I'm thinking. It is, it's not a good look, but maybe if I'm playing Miranda's advocate here, we've all been to shows where people aren't just taking like pictures and videos. They're just being real obnoxious about it. And so if the only way this is okay is if these people were distracting the other fans and it was so obvious that she's like, you're ruining the show for other people. But she didn't say that. It feels like it was distracting her and she didn't like it. And so she stopped the whole show. But you got to have a cooler head, you know?
Like, these girls are down here more worried about a selfie than listening to me. I didn't know that you couldn't hear the music if you weren't looking at her. And it'd be different. Yeah. Listen to this. It would be different. It would be so different if Miranda was up there putting on a show. She was standing there.
Stationary.
She wasn't even dancing. If you're dancing, you know what? You can do, you know what, Miranda? If you're dancing up there, then you can say this. You can say, you know what? You're not even enjoying the show. You're just singing. She was stationary. She probably hadn't moved in 20 minutes. There was no
She might as well have had a stool.
There was no performance that involved anything but her voice. I could have listened to the whole show, enjoyed the whole thing with my eyes closed because she was not moving.
Yeah.
So, Miranda, if you want to say you're not paying attention, whatever, you can do that if you're up there performing. And she's singing, and it sounds incredible. She's a great singer. But if you're not dancing, I don't need to see you doing your song because these hand movements, I'm doing them right now. And everybody on the radio listening in their car is getting the same experience as they would if they were in front of me because I'm just sitting here.
Yeah. I think if this is so bothersome to you, do the Jack White thing, which I actually appreciate. Just tell people not to bring their phones in. But you can't start stopping selfies partway through the show.
You know how many times you had to stop the show?
Yeah.
If you stop for every selfie.
You know who'd never do that? Mike Maines in the Branches.
Never.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Here's a question for you. What is the best instant food?
Oh, the best, like, right away food?
Yeah.
That you can make? Good question. Like, put in the microwave, I assume?
You think, like, instant coffee, instant rice, like anything you just add water and microwave. Instant oatmeal.
I don't know. Instant oatmeal is good.
Instant oatmeal. What about this?
Corn dog's pretty instant.
Okay, that's not really the same category.
That's the same, but it's like 1 minute.
No, you need to add water and mix it up and put it in the microwave.
Yeah, but a corn dog, you ain't even got to add water.
You don't call them instant corn dogs,
You just
though.
put it in the microwave 1 minute, here you go.
Yeah, but you don't call it an instant corn dog.
Feels instant to me.
Pretty much any corn dog is an instant corn dog.
Exactly.
Which, so they don't count.
Whatever.
Oatmeal
it is.
All right, oatmeal
I'll do oatmeal. Or bagel bites, whatever you want.
Oatmeal. I think that's a good example, though, of like, you think about some of the instant things, or here's a perfect one. What about the instant mac and cheese?
That's good.
I never went to school, but I assume you come home from school and you just pop that in the microwave, right? That's what they always showed me in the commercials when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You get home from school before mom's home and ragu.
A Hot Pocket. Instant.
Yeah. But instant mac and cheese, nowhere near as good as like homemade baked mac and cheese, right?
The good stuff.
Like, there's some instant options that I think are decent. I don't think very many are anywhere near as good as like the actual real thing.
True.
That takes time. But sometimes when you just need it now, you don't have time to go for the real thing. Sometimes in life, when you're going through struggles, you don't have time, or you don't want to wait for the real thing. You want the instant thing. And sometimes that helps momentarily, but the instant mac and cheese isn't going to be as good as the baked homemade version, the real thing. And going for the instant option for some of our troubles isn't going to be as good as going for the real thing. That's what God is. Jesus is the real thing. He's going to help you out. It's going to take some time. There's going to be some instant relief, but it's also going to be over time even better than if you went for the instant option. God can help you right now and every single day going forward. He's ready to do that for you. And all you need to do is ask. Say, hey, Jesus, I'm ready for that. I'm ready for some help. I'm ready for things to be different. Show me how. And he'll do it. RadioU.com/free gift.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
It's Would You Rather Wednesday. The question is, would you rather live in the middle of nowhere or right smack dab in the middle of the city? And unsurprisingly, people with strong opinions on this one. Becca texted in, middle of nowhere, 100%. Noted. Tim. Actually, you know what? I want to save Tim's because his is real good.
You like Tim's answer, do you?
Not that everybody else's isn't good, but Tim's is one that I really vibe with. So let's hold off. AJ says middle of nowhere for sure. Not a big fan of crowded areas. Understandable. Julia. City.
City.
Simply.
Actually, is what she said.
City. Todd. Middle of nowhere, of course. Deb. Middle of nowhere. Regina. Middle of nowhere. I like a break from people and don't want to hear their noise, but want to be able to blast my music if I want.
That's what radio used for.
Regina, you ever been to the city? People blasting music all the time. Dylan says middle of nowhere for sure. I've had it both ways. I like that. And prefer simple peace and quiet living. I like that, people that have had both sides of it.
You try a little bit of both.
Like myself, for example. I lived in a city. I would say, I guess I haven't lived downtown, but I've lived in a city. I've also lived in the middle of nowhere. And for me, I'm a city guy, for sure.
City boy!
Let's get back to Tim. Tim said, city. If I'm near a sports team I like, and the food options are great, along with a great view of the city. I guess is he putting qualifications there?
Yeah, he's putting qualifications.
So if those expectations aren't met, he's in the middle of the nowhere.
Yeah, I think if there's not a great sports team he likes and not great food options, and maybe his apartment isn't a great view, then he's not picking the city. We got some more in. Jeff says middle of the city. I would love to not have to own a car and have access to all that it has to offer. I can take vacations out to the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, Jeff, you're speaking my language. That's what I was thinking. Middle of nowhere, great for a vacation. You just want to get away from it all. You get an Airbnb in Wyoming. You have a good time. But you want to live your life, you got to be in a city. For me.
Mark says, I live in the middle of nowhere, and it's horrible.
Oh, you don't hear that too often.
I have to drive 45 to 60 minutes to get anywhere.
Yes.
City. Mark, you can just move.
You can't move.
You can move closer. Maybe he likes his house.
Yeah. Or maybe his job requires him to be out in the middle of nowhere.
D, that's a good perspective. I used to enjoy living in the city. Hated when we moved to the middle of nowhere as a kid. As an adult, after years of living in one of the largest cities in the U.S., I really enjoy living in the middle of nowhere now, which I think is common, that it changes as time goes on.
Sure. Understandable. I like Regina texted back and she says, yeah, but she likes blasting her music and she's been to the city, but she wants to be not to be a jerk. So she doesn't. So that's
a good way.
She just wants to move into the middle of nowhere to be courteous to others. Well, what is your pick?
See, I've done both as well. I think at this point in my life right now, I'd like to live closer to things.
Yeah.
Because I'm all by my lonesome. If I lived in the middle of nowhere, I'm going to be in a house by myself.
Yeah, you'd be really a recluse.
It'd be me, and I would hate Jim, my dog, even more.
Grid.
Yeah, it'd be terrible. He would just drive my life crazy. I'd be by myself. All I would do is just watch shows. So right now, I need to live in a city. I think as I get older, I'm going to want to live near a city, but out with my own space.
Yeah.
That's my prime spot, is I want to be near a city, but have my own yard. I want to be able to pee outside.
Yeah.
Things like that are just necessities in my life as an adult.
Yeah, I think one more underrated aspect, the first thing that came to mind for me of why I would do city, I mean, obviously, some people have mentioned, just having different food options, obviously all the different, whatever entertainment it is, you're going to have an easier time with that in the city. And then for me, you think about living in the middle of the nowhere, you could be, let's say you get in a car accident. who's helping you?
Oh, come, we're not doing that.
That's what I think. That's what I think. It's like if I get in a car crash.
No.
And if I drive off the road, or a deer always, or moose, depending on how middle of nowhere you are, and you hit a moose, then what happens? Who's going to come help you? You're in the middle of nowhere. The city, there's always somebody around to lend a helping hand. That's what I love about it. That's Would You Rather Wednesday.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Isaiah, I'm just going to let you have the floor on this one. Cleveland Browns. New helmets. Explain.
Excitedness.
That's what you get?
Incredibleness. I am a fan. If you guys did not know, the Cleveland Browns orange helmets, kind of the thing, right?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Pretty much forever. I mean, yes. Came out yesterday, some brand new helmets, which don't seem like a big deal when you say it.
But I think a lot of teams are doing this now.
They are. It's the first year it's like allowed was last year because we remember some of the other teams that came out with new colored helmets. And so this year, more of your teams are probably going to get in on it. And yesterday, the Browns as well tapping in with an all-white helmet, which for them looks pretty shocking because their logo is a literal orange helmet.
Yeah.
The logo of the team. So for them to bring out the white one, pretty exciting stuff. An all-white uniform. I'm a fan. It's sponsored by Dude Wipes. If you haven't seen the little trailer thing they put out for it, it's pretty funny. It's on brand. I think it fits.
The jokes write themselves.
I mean, they do. I don't have to go into it. Yet again, Dude Wipes.
No wonder the helmets look so clean.
Sparkling white. Cleaning up all of the
Browns. Yeah.
But for me, I'm excited. We're wearing them 3 times this year. Right away, when I saw them, I liked them, and I'm a fan, and I'm excited for those games. It makes me want to buy tickets for those games because I want to see them in person, but I know those ones are going to be even more expensive.
We can go together.
You want to go to a Browns game?
Yeah, when they lose to the Jets on Thursday Night Football, their last home game of the year. They'll be wearing these uniforms for that.
No, they're not. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Now I'm even more pumped. We'll get a victory in them. I'm excited.
We gotta go. That's week 17 when they play the Jets on Thursday Night Football. It's their last home game of the year, and they will, in fact, be wearing these whiteout uniforms. They also have them on for week 2 when they play the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football, and a random game against the 49ers in week 6.
That's probably the one, if you want to see them, is to pick that one. It'll be the least expensive of the 3.
Yeah. Then,
you like them, don't you? Come on now.
They don't excite me.
Well, they wouldn't. I mean, you're not a Browns fan.
It's literally a plain white helmet.
Yeah, but it looks cool for us because we always have an orange helmet.
Yeah, but
it looks clean. I think it looks cool.
It's fine. It's
we don't get a lot of new things, okay? The Browns uniforms, they're pretty plain Jane. We're a pretty traditional team.
And so you came out with the most boring helmet you can make. It's not even a color.
So what would you have done?
Probably put that little sprite on it. The little fairy.
The elf?
Yeah.
We're not putting logos in our helmet. That's not what we do. Because we don't do that.
You put it on your midfield.
Yeah, but we don't put things on our helmets.
Why don't you put
our logo is a helmet? That seems a little bit redundant. Why don't you put a thing
that says Browns on it?
That seems a little bit redundant. I think just the plain white, it's going to look crisp. I think the uniforms look good. It's exciting for us. We don't get a lot of nice things.
No,
this is a nice thing for us.
You don't have a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, exactly. This is an exciting thing for us, and so I'm not going to let you crap all over it. I'll let my Dude Wipes wipe it up, and the white here, it looks sick.
I don't need to crap all over the Browns.
Yeah, it looks
Every
good.
other team in the league does that on a yearly basis.
That's crazy, because if you want to make a bet right now, I guarantee the Browns better record than the Packers.
Oh, they might be all right.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Check out our food fight from yesterday. We tried the new Dinky. No, it's hard to do this.
I did the same thing 3 seconds ago.
Dinky X Twing Dong. No, it was a Twinkie X Ding Dong. It's a mashup. Hostess made the mix of Ding Dongs and Twinkies. And so we tried it on the show.
And we sure as heck aren't getting another one.
No, they're long gone.
because the people at RadioU somehow ate 19 snack cakes yesterday. 19. We had Twinkies, Ding Dongs, and Twinkie Ding Dongs. 3 boxes, 30 of them. There's no Twinkies left.
Not one.
Somehow, there's none left. And somehow there's 3 Ding Dongs and 2 Twinkie Ding Dongs. There's like 4 people that work here other than Hudson and I. They all ate, 5 apiece? It's insane. Literally insane.
I think Isaiah was looking forward to having a Twinkie today.
I thought that maybe after I ate a Twinkie yesterday at 8 a.m., 8 a.m. I ate one yesterday. I didn't want to eat one the rest of the day because I'd already eaten one. Maybe today I'd come in and have one at a normal time. Maybe I'd get one at noon. No! 8 of them eaten. Somehow. Insane.
I have a confession
So I'm
to
upset.
make.
How many did you eat? I knew it was you. How many did you take home?
No, I took one home. I took one. We each had one on the show. And I had one that I took home. That was it. So that means what?
That was it?
Was it a 10 box?
It was a 10 box.
So 7.
7.
You think that's unreasonable for 4 other people?
7?
In addition to all the other ones they ate of the other varieties.
Yeah, okay, but it'd be one thing if we just had the Twinkies were gone. It'd be one thing if it was just 7 Twinkies eaten.
Yeah.
Then we had 6 Ding Dongs and 7 Twinkie Ding Dongs.
All right, here's the question then. Who do you think ate the most? We got Sledgehammer, the boss, Michael. We call him Sledgehammer. There's Moneybags, Chris, the engineer. We call him Moneybags. There's Tyler, Big Country, on the afternoons new on RadioU.
He can put down some Twinkies.
And then Nene. Nene is a nickname, so he doesn't get one. Who do you think put down the most?
Oh, it's so tough. When I think about it, they're all here for the same amount of time, right?
Yeah.
Nene has a reputation for eating a lot of snacks in the afternoon. So my first bet would be on him. It's definitely not Sledgehammer.
Oh, no. Michael the Sledgehammer, definitely.
Moneybags, no. He packs his lunch.
He does.
And he probably brings...
He might have had one.
Maybe one. So now we're leaving it down to Big Country and Nene.
Yeah.
How many could they have eaten?
Maybe Big Country.
Just went wild in there.
Tyler in the afternoons.
He just went
in between
wild.
every request he took, every time he talked yesterday on his show, he was over in the break room stealing some Hostess.
Like, let's say it was you, right? Let's say you yesterday in the afternoon. How many Twinkie Ding Dongs, if you were going to go crazy?
Oh, how many could I have?
Like one of each, right? There's no way you're eating more than one of each.
Well, is it a contest to see how many I can have, or
no,
is it until I'm satisfied?
It's just like a normal Tuesday.
I think probably like 3 max.
Yeah.
3 feels like a lot.
That feels like
if
a lot.
If I wasn't counting calories.
Yeah, if you were going to have a crazy day.
Yeah. Just
3 feels like a good amount.
Keep going. But somebody was just chain eating Twinkies.
Somebody was putting them down. They put down 7 and then 6 Ding Dongs and 7 Ding Dong Twinkies. That's so much. So much.
We'll know whoever gets checked into the hospital is the one that did it.
We'll see what happens today.
Yeah.
The real question is, will there be anything left tomorrow?
Oh, there's not going to be a shred.
There's 3 Ding Dongs left and 2 Ding Dong Twinkies.
Unless this conversation is heard and makes somebody feel bad.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope the next time that we have a snack, we can have it for more than one day.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
When there's 30 of them.
There's 30 of them and there's like 6 of us. You would think that we would make them last longer. I'd like to have snacks in RadioU, and I wanted to last a little bit longer. Maybe a week of Twinkies. Imagine a week of Twinkies in there.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, RadioU.
Have you seen the lazy girl jobs kind of trend situation going viral? Are you familiar with the lazy girl jobs?
I'm not up with it.
Lazy girl jobs. The woman who started it wants to be clear that it's not a dig on women saying they're lazy. And she herself is a woman. But she was just pointing out that there are jobs out there that pay like a living wage like actually pretty decent, like 60K at least, that you don't have to do a whole lot of work. Like really good for work-life balance. You don't have to overexert yourself at the office or whatever the job is, and you still make a decent amount of money. She calls them lazy girl jobs. And so now this woman is coming out, the kind of coined the term, and is telling people, if you have a lazy girl job, don't be posting about it on the socials. Because she doesn't want you to get in trouble with your boss.
That makes sense.
She doesn't want you to get reprimanded or even fired for what makes it sound like you're kind of phoning it in.
So what are some examples? I want to know what some of these lazy girl jobs are.
That's what I was trying to think of too. The way I imagine it, right, is jobs where, like, we could come in here and kind of phone in the show, and it would definitely sound different than us actually trying.
True.
So one day we should actually try and see if people can tell the difference. But phoning it, like, I think of jobs where you could phone it in and it wouldn't be any different than actually putting any effort in. The one I hate to say this, the one I first thought of, but I don't think it pays enough to count, is like Walmart greeter. Like, how could you, what would be phoning it in as a Walmart greeter?
Not saying an energetic hello.
You just say hello instead of saying, welcome to Walmart. Does that count? But I don't think they make enough money.
Well,
there's no chance. Okay.
You worked in fast food.
Uh-huh.
Could you phone it in at Panera? What would happen?
Oh, phoning it in would be way different than actually putting in effort, for sure.
And you could, obviously Panera probably isn't paying you like $60K to work either.
Definitely not.
But you could for sure phone that in, couldn't you?
You can phone it in. There'd be a noticeable difference. So that doesn't count, for sure. Fast food. I mean, you can tell people do phone it in.
True. They're already doing that.
Yeah. So what's a job where it'd be hard to phone it in just because phoning it in would be the same as doing the actual job?
See, my thing off the top of my head, I don't know if there's a job. I can't think of any jobs. I'm sure you guys can text in 8772 Radio U.
Mm-hmm.
A job that it wouldn't even make a difference if you tried or not.
Yeah.
It seems like a crazy job.
Uh-huh.
Because, in any jobs, if you're thinking like electrician, any sort of trade.
Yeah, people are going to catch on if you're not getting the wiring done.
The house is going to catch on fire.
Uh-huh.
If you're not doing it the right way.
Your license is going to get revoked.
If you're a teacher, what's phoning it in look like?
Here's a good one. I got it. I don't know if this makes enough money either. The people at construction, like when they're doing construction on the road, that hold the sign that tell you whether to go slow or stop.
Instead of like waving around, you're just kind of leaning on it.
Yeah.
You're not trying this hard.
Yeah.
That's true.
You dilly-dally in the time between, you see the other person flip their sign, you're like, I'll just wait a few more seconds.
I'll just see when I want you to go.
Yeah, when I feel like, when I get around to it. 8772 Radio U, if you can think of a lazy girl job, a job where you can't phone it in because phoning it in is the job, and you can make a living wage doing it.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Lazy girl jobs that you don't really have to put a whole ton of effort into. You don't have to, it's easy to keep work at work. You don't have to check your emails and whatever and take phone calls when you're not in the office, that kind of stuff. And you still get paid handsomely. What are lazy girl jobs? You got to hear some of these, the people are saying.
I'm excited.
It's borderline. It's kind of insulting, I think, some of them. To us.
To us?
To us, to people who work here. Because one of them, Dan, said voiceover work.
I know this sounds like it's easy.
Well, this isn't voiceover, what we're doing.
I know, but that's it's too close, Dan.
But our guy, Big Country, Tyler, in the afternoons, he does voiceover work. I don't think he'd say it's a lazy girl job. Also, I don't know if it pays. Like, he's doing okay, I think. But I don't think it's like,
Mega Millions.
Yeah, I'm not set here. It's just a lot of time spent on that. How about Katie says data entry? That feels good. I don't know what that pays. But that feels like data entry. That's just typing stuff in, right?
To Excel, yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
I've seen that one advertised before.
What about dog walker?
Yeah, that's pretty. You can phone it in.
Yeah.
Because guess what? The dog will never tell.
Yeah, that's right. What's he gonna tattle on you?
If you take the dog for a
shorter walk,
a 5-minute walk,
yeah,
instead of a 10-minuter, who's gonna find out?
What about paid reviewer?
Oh, I know people have done this, and you know what? I'm glad you brought this up. A paid reviewer.
Danielle brought it up.
Well, Danielle, this is a good one because I've met people like this before. Paid reviewer, you can easily phone it in, obviously. But I don't want you acting as if like you're this prestigious thing.
Okay.
Because Yelp is paying you to do whatever. Like, I don't want to hear about that. Whatever you're trying.
And it's different from being an influencer, right?
Yes.
An influencer,
completely
content
different.
creator, you are the draw, and then other places want you to come.
A paid reviewer, you are just a statistic.
Yeah, that's right. You're just helping the star rating.
Yeah, they actually asked me to try different wines. I don't want to hear about it. All right.
Yeah. I also feel like
conversations before.
I don't know. None of these, I guess I don't know the salary. I just can't imagine that pays enough.
No.
Especially if you're phoning it in on the interviews or the reviews, however you are doing it. This is a good one, though. This is a good one from Scott. Security guard. 99% of the time you're
not doing anything.
Nothing, right?
You're right.
As long as you got the body for it. That's all.
The intimidation factor is all you need.
Mm-hmm. In the right outfit, pretty much. There's some good ones. I feel like none are lines of work that we could get into.
I know. I was really hoping that I would hear something that I'm like, you know what? That sounds great.
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
Oh, here's one more. Social media manager.
I feel like you can't really phone it in with that, though.
It's tough.
I feel like there's a lot that goes on with that.
Nene is our social media manager. He's checking
no way
it. He's like
phoning it in.
24/7 on that thing.
Yeah, that's not a good one.
Yeah.
I think people say that who haven't done it.
Uh-huh.
They're like, social media sounds so easy. All you do is post. It's not. I don't want to hear that.
No, it's a lot of time consuming.
Yeah, you have to be super organized.
Yeah, but I guess phoning it in, though, doesn't matter how long it takes if you phone it in.
You just heard the worst of the worst. We'd give you the best of the best, but we'd have to find that. As soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.